Hey, what's up everybody? This is Frugal Panda here. I thought I'd do a video. I got a question from someone in regards to what was it about? Oh, I don't think I did a follow-up of how my trip went to Oregon and Washington in regards to the vehicle really. And they were asking me a question around it and I started thinking I couldn't remember if I had did an update like, well, how did it go on that trip up there? Because as you know, I have a 2015 or 2014, whatever, Chevrolet Bolt, which is a hybrid car. But it's the type of hybrid car, a PHEV or PHEV, anyway, where it's not necessarily like the older Priuses or some of the Prius that are not plug-in. It's a plug-in hybrid. So you can get around 40, I've gotten up to probably about 45 miles of charge, like on not driving around on nothing but electricity. And which is really cool in the city, especially with one of my jobs, because where I'm at, we have EV chargers. So I drive there, which is 20 some miles away. I plug in and I could probably make it home without even using any gas if I didn't plug in. But I plug in while I'm at work and it's fully charged, in a couple hours. And then when I come home, so basically it's like free in a way. It's free chargers. But anyway, let's get back to my trip. So I took that Chevy Bolt. I went from Denver or Aurora, Colorado, all the way to my first stop was Bend, Oregon, and so I went over 1,000 miles, drove that car there, and I also came back too. So it was of course a round trip. The car did really well. The Chevy Volts are Volts, not Bolt. The Volt, because it has a gas engine, drives really well. I'm not saying because of the gas engine, I'm saying because it's a heavier car. This car, when they came out, was 40-some thousand dollars. Basically, it's the same as the Cadillac ELR, which was based on this same car, just had a couple extra things on it. So same car, but the car handles really well. It's a smaller, heavy car because I don't know how much that battery weighs. I'm guessing 600 pounds or so that's sitting on the bottom of the car. So it's heavier than a car its size would actually usually be. So no problems. I didn't get whipped all over the road by wind or anything like that. It's front wheel drive. It's pretty sporty in regards to how it rides. I had no issues with it in regards to driving. Now I got out there, I had a little more issues in regards to finding chargers. Also that once I got to certain places, I stopped really looking for chargers. And that's just to be honest with you. When I was in Eugene, they had chargers right downtown where I was at. So I would plug in the car, pull the bike out, which they were free charges, paid like $2 or something like that for parking for 3 hours. And I plug in the car, grab the electric bike out, e-bike out of the back and go right around town, do all the stuff I want to do, come back, the car's fully charged. And my motel was downtown. So, but when I started getting to other cities, I didn't even really look for them. I didn't really care because also I knew with the car, I could open the hood and it would charge itself up on its own. And you leave it in mountain mode and it would keep a certain amount of charge in it. So like, what would it be? 13 to 15 miles of charge on it. So basically I rode on the highway on gas, like a normal hybrid. And then when I was in the city, I rode around on electricity, which is the main thing I wanted to do. But I stopped really looking for chargers because it wasn't as big a deal for me. Now driving out there, so it gets a max of 300 and some miles with the gas engine and the battery, or the gas, really it's gas generator because it's not connected to the wheels. Anyway, so of course you got to fill up more. It's not like say my old 2016 Ram where you can go like 500 miles or so on a tank of gas, No, you can't do that. You have to stop more frequent. But it wasn't a big deal. Every time I had to stop, so I'd stop maybe, I was down to like say 50 miles of gas because I always have like 20 to 30 miles of charge backed up to that. So technically really 80, which is kind of cool. You got that reserve electricity if something was to happen but I never came close to running out. Anytime I needed to stop for gas, it was time to stop for a minute and go run to the bathroom and get something to eat. And a stupid fly. Dude, we've had flies like really bad out here. And I have a dog and I don't have a doggy door. I have it where it slides open. So I have to let him out and quickly close it because they keep coming in the house. Anyway, so it wasn't a big deal. Every time I stopped, it's when I needed a break to refresh. So did I stop? I want to say I stopped 3 times on my way because of course I left my house with a full tank. And then Yeah, and then I probably filled up 3 to go the distance. And then I filled up maybe once while I was there, and maybe twice. Could have been twice, but it wasn't a big deal. It wasn't a big deal. It did not impact my trip any, because people say, "Oh, you got a smaller tank," and no, it didn't impact anything. I was ready to stop around that time, so it was a good thing. It actually made me probably get there quicker, because usually if I knew I had like 400 or 500 miles of range, I'm gonna go all the way to like 450 miles, of straight driving and then stop. And by that time, I'm kind of dead tired and I have to take a longer break. But stopping earlier than that, it refreshed me quicker, and I just keep on going and keep on going. Now, we talked all about that. Now, getting into the cities, one of the issues, because the person was asking me, guys, well, what did I think of it as a camper? I think it's a great camper for if you're just going to places like, as you saw in some of my other videos, I went to like a national park where there's a place where you park and plug in. Yeah, maybe you can plug in, where you go park and get your stuff out and you set up your bed in the back and you do all that stuff. No issues with that. No issues with it. Now, as you can see in my old videos, I had a minivan. I've had big old trucks with 6.5 feet beds. I didn't make any videos back then of that. I had larger things, Subarus, stuff like that. Going from my last vehicle, and I know this is going to be a different thing, going from my minivan to the Chevy Volt was a big difference. Was a big change in terms of like travel. When I'm talking about traveling, say to pick a city, Portland. Okay, so if I had the minivan and I had driven to Portland, so say I got there late at night and I was already in the city, I don't care. I'm not going to get a hotel or a motel, because it's so simple. I'm going to stop somewhere. I'm going to put up my little window covers. I have window covers. I have tinted windows, but I'm going to put up most of my window covers in it that don't block how I can see while I'm driving, of course. And then go find a spot in front of apartment complex or somewhere where it's legal to park. And I mean, I'm talking about the street, not going up in their parking lot and stuff like that. And I would just pull over, turn the car off, lock the doors, quickly just walk right around my little captain chair into the back, finish putting up the rest of, which is still tinted, putting up the rest of my window covers, pull the little curtain in front, which is black. So basically you look in the front of the car, all you see is blackness, like you would see looking in a car at night, and go to sleep. It's just that easy. And the thing about it was, when we're talking about the minivan, is if you do your bed, and here's the thing is, I built a little bed platform, but then after a while I realized you don't even need a bed platform. Towards the end, yanked that and I put in my, one of my cots. So I put a cot in there, and it was the exact same height. You could sit on it. I could sit at 6 foot tall and sit straight up. So that was a big deal. So if you got up in the morning, say you were doing a little bit of stealth camping, or you're just trying to save a few bucks while you're on vacation and not hit the hotel or motel every night, or whatever you're trying to do, you hop in the back. You can sit on the little cot or whatever else and sit straight up. Put your clothes on, take your clothes off. Have you a quick little bowl of cereal, whatever, you got a little refrigerator. And so even though I had all that stuff with me, it was much harder to do it in the Chevy Volt. And I knew this when I bought the car, but it didn't really impact me until you do something. And that's just how it is. You got to try. It's trial and error with things, everyone. You just try different things. You see what works with you. Now, would the Prius been any better? No, it wouldn't have been. I know it wouldn't have. Now, with the Prius V, I believe that's what it is, the Prius V, the larger one. The one that's like in between a minivan and a smaller Prius hatchback. That I think would be better. A little more room just to lean up a little better and all that. Yeah, it would have been better in regards to that. But if you're going to try and do that type of camping and that type of stealth camping like I did, do not take an e-bike. Because you're not going to be able to put it on the back. If you're going to pull over in a city and, take a quick nap, or you get in late, or you just don't, this one of those days where it was a good day, you went to the beach, you swam, you did everything there, and you're like, oh, I'm not getting a motel tonight. Let me save $100 or something. You don't want your e-bike sitting on the back of your car, type of thing, tempting people. But the problem is when you put it in there, yes, will it fit in a Chevy Volt? Will it fit in a Prius, a regular size Prius? Yes, it will. It'll fit in both of them, but you got to remember it's going to impact the type of room you have. You put that on top of that. I have an electric XP with me. It wouldn't matter if this is electric XP or if it was my Rad Mini. I had that in the back, I have a refrigerator, and then I have whatever other stuff with me. That impacts it. Now, I could have got a roof cargo carrier. Now, remember, that's going to cut your mileage on those type of vehicles, but it would definitely pull some stuff out. Or what you can do, here's another thought though for people. You can pop that front seat out. I almost did. I was so close to pulling the seat out of the car. It's one cable underneath it, and I think 4 bolts, it could be 6, but I think it's 4 bolts you take out, and that seat will pop right out because it's not an electric seat anyway. So, I think the cable, there's like one cable to the airbag, and you yank the whole seat out. Now, if you yank that seat out, then all of a sudden it goes from, what was it? I think you can be 6'4" and lay straight away in the back of a Chevy Volt. Now you pull that seat out. Well, you do the math. What's that add? Another 2 feet? When you say about 2 feet at least of room, so now you're talking 8'4" or whatever it is. I'm willing to bet with the seat out there, it's about 2 more feet of room with the seat out. Now, if you know you're going by yourself and you're not carrying anybody, you got a serious one. Now, that may be the game changer for people, is that piece right there. Now, you just have to make sure you make better curtains for the front, or not curtains, but covers, which I had covers. If you got tinted windows, you're not going to be able to tell you got covers in the window. Like that. Most people are not paying attention. Most people are in their phone, and they don't even look at little details like that, but they wouldn't be able to tell. A lot of times you can't even tell in the day. So an example would be, also with a smaller car, you got to make sure you have window covers. So when I'm driving with the Electric XP, it would sit on the left hand, on the driver's side in the back, you know, up against the wall are the pillars in the back seat with it folded down. I always left that window cover right there in the window. So I had a window cover. It was black, so it just looked like a deep tinted window. The reason is because you walk by, guess what, you could look right in the window and see, even with tinted windows, oh, he got some type of big fat tire bike sitting back there, you know, type of thing. But you put that, you can't see because you can't really see from the front. And then I had a curtain that at night I could pull across, and it would go, a black curtain, and it'd go across. So what I do is I pull it over to the side of Electric XP and just put enough that it covers the back of the Electric XP, and it looks black. So if you look in the back window, you can't see what it is even. And so it covers it, but it doesn't block my point of view that I could see, you know, so you don't do the whole back window or whole back. You just cover exactly over that, about this much or whatever it is of Electric XP. Anyway, so that's some things for you to think about in regards to it. Can you use it as camping? Yes, you can. The lithium battery is really good. I'm telling you, I left my refrigerator and my Jackery plugged in the whole time I was out there. I bring it in at night if I was in motels, which was most of the time, just because I don't want to tempt anybody to break into my car for a freaking $200 Jackery, you know, or my refrigerator, you know, things like that. So having that, but I'd recommend if going with a car, if you're going with a smaller car like that, and like I said, you got to go with a hatchback for the most part. You don't have to, but it's a better thing. As you know, if you looked at my old videos, I had a Mercedes. And most German cars are built so you can sleep in the back of them. Sedans and everything. You drop those seats and you can lay straight away in them, most of them. This is just how a lot of Europeans do it. It's a smart thing to do. But I didn't have tinted windows. I didn't have stuff like that. And I was like, did I really want to take this car, you know, type of thing? Don't know. Like I said, you live and learn. You learn things. You see what works, what doesn't. But, what I say, though, if you're in a smaller car, so you saw the size of my refrigerator in my other videos, get the smaller version of that same refrigerator. Miniaturize everything smaller than what it would be, say, in my minivan. Because everything I bought a lot of times was for the minivan. So it would go in there. So it's that size for a minivan. So it doesn't take up that much room. It's a minivan, you know, type of thing. Now, putting it in a car, that's a bigger thing. Do I need I forget what that one is, 20 liters or whatever it is? No. I probably need the 15 liter, the smaller little refrigerator that holds a couple of sodas, holds yogurts, a little thing of milk, you know, things like that type of stuff. Because regardless if you're buying that smaller stuff for a long journey or a major trip you're going to do, you're still saving money if you're even getting the smaller versions of like food items. You know, yeah, you can get more buying in bulk. As we know in America, everything you can buy in bulk, you can get real quick. But getting smaller varieties, regardless, you're still going to the store and you're still, you know, like when I met the gentleman who's a YouTuber at Costco, I was going in to buy basic stuff, some yogurt, some cookies, you know, basic things that a lot of things I could refrigerate that I put in there, some more, you know, meat products, you know, stuff like that. But miniaturize everything. So it's something to do. And before you get another car, If you got a car right now, start practicing with that. Start looking at that car, even though you know that's the car you're not going to keep for like your camper, if that's what you're looking at. But start looking at it, because it's going to give you a lot of times a basic outline of what your amount of room you're going to have in the car. So start trying it out. Like, okay, I know the bed to go on this side, or where I'm going to sleep. This is going to be this, this, and this. What's it going to look like? How am I going to get in here? Is it going to be comfortable enough for me? There's things to look at. All in all, my road trip was pretty good. It was a great time to go. I had a lot of fun. If I did it again, which I will, it's going to be a Subaru Outback, not the one you see in the video. That's just a winter beater. It has too many miles on it. I'm not saying nothing about it, but knowing me and how I feel about it, because I've had cars break down in the past when I was a young man in the military and I didn't have any money, and it was really a bad thing. And but when I do a major one like that, there's 3 cars I'm looking at, 4 technically. One is a Subaru Outback, a newer model, of course, because it's got a lot more room. You can double up the room of what it probably has in regards to my Chevy Volt, but it's a go anywhere vehicle. They're a dime a dozen, so no one's going to look at it, wow, that's, no, you see probably 1,000 of them, anywhere you go. So it's not like, you're standing out from the crowd. Another vehicle I'm looking at, I've had in the past, a Ford Edge. We have one in the family right now. My spouse has one. I used to have one, but my other one, it was long in the tooth, never had any issues out of it, nothing. But it was pushing a lot of miles by the time I got rid of it. And you can sleep in the back of them. The back seats come out, the bottom piece comes out. It's got plenty of room. It's pretty decent. It's all-wheel drive. Also, the major one I'm really looking at is a Ford Explorer, a newer model Ford Explorer. And the reason being is I know I can fit in the Ford Edge. I know I can sleep in the back. Yes, I know it has more room than the Chevy Volt, but I know the Ford Explorer has more room, way more. It has can get a third row seat than the Ford Edge or the Chevy. I might be mixing them up, but it's the same. It's the competitor to the Ford Explorer. It's either the Traverse or the Equinox. One is the size of a Ford Explorer and one is not. That one's another one too, but I always love the look of the Ford Explorers. It's going to be really hard going back from a hybrid to a gas vehicle, but the reality of it is I have to, when I do something like that, it has to be because of my lifestyle. Now, what I like to do if I do that is later on, I would like to get a used, I don't know, 2008, 2009 Prius. That's what I would want as my, get around town car and stuff like that. And I may not, or it might be enough, because it's like this. I think about with the Ford Explorer or anything like that uses more gas, and they're a lot more economical than they used to be in the past. The reality of it is, if I can take my bike, if I can take my scooter, if I can hop in the back and sleep comfortably and get in the back easily, go mostly anywhere I want to go because it's all-wheel drive, I'm saving money, for one. And then for two, okay, yeah, I'm paying more in gas, whoop-de-woo, I'm on vacation, but I get downtown, I park the the SUV, or wherever I'm at, I park it, I yank out the e-bike or the scooter, and I'm gone. I'm doing everything I need to do. No gas, no jumping around, going all these different places in the car. I could leave the car, pack a lunch or a little snack until I get to where I'm going to go, hang out, eat something good wherever I'm at, and do all that. And I'm saving money because I'm taking everything with me. I got the refrigerator, I got everything I need. Until they really get to the point where you can get a true hybrid in an SUV that's a fair price, that's just the reality of it. Oh, I'd love to have the Chrysler Pacific plug-in, but if you want to see a shocker, go see how much they cost right now and how long it's taken to get them for one of those Chrysler Pacificas. But anyway, I'm starting to rattle on about different things, but that's what I'm looking at in regards to doing it. And possibly, if I see a good deal on a minivan, and the problem with minivans for me, honestly, is I don't like the look of them. Most of them, they're ugly to me. They always have been. I've always had sports cars and nice sedans and big old, cool trucks, and they're so ugly. I like the look of the Chrysler Pacifica in black. They have like a midnight version. Who knows? I'm getting older. I'm changing too, and honestly, it's not about the look. As we get older, it's not about the look of the vehicle in regards to, oh man, it looks cool. It's not about anybody thinks about it. It's about, man, how does it function? You know, I know enough people live around me that got cool little Teslas. They love to go out and wax it all the time. You know, or telling me, you ought to get a Tesla. Okay, yeah, that's cool. While I'm hopping in my Volt and taking off camping somewhere, and I come back, they still doing the same thing we were doing 2 days ago. Ain't went nowhere, you know? Whatever, dude. Do whatever makes you feel good, whatever saves you money and gets you out to the adventures. Because that's the main thing. It's getting to the adventures with a dependable vehicle. So anyway, that was my thoughts on what I did in regards to the Chevy Volt, things I'm looking at in the future in regards to what I want to do. I ain't got much planned for the rest of the year, probably, so besides taking my bike different places and riding, you know, stuff like that. I might do some winter camping, maybe knock out one more winter camping in the Chevy Volt, but I kind of want to take my little winter beater and do a simple winter camping. If I keep it, don't know. Anyway, everyone, hey, thanks for watching. And regardless, don't take what I say in regards to letting it knock down anything you want to do. If all you have is a small vehicle and you really want to do these type of trips, don't let it stop you. Just do it. It's all about getting there. You'll have a great time. Thank you, everyone. Thanks for watching.